Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Some of the most respected chart analysts in the world of crypto are now essentially insisting that the bottom for crypto markets is in. And I'm talking about the local bottom, of course, because it's been pretty obvious that the bottom for the cycle was in November of last year with the collapse of FTX. But there's been a lot of fear in recent days that Bitcoin was going to go cratering on down below that roughly $15,000 mark that we saw this past November, that we were going to see $12,000 Bitcoin, $10,000 Bitcoin. And even if we weren't going to see that, there's some analysts, many analysts, that thought that we were in for the opposite of a treat when it comes to price action in crypto. But I want to share with you perspective from a few chart analysts in this video who say no. What's most probable here is that actually this local bottom, it's actually in here. And I'll share with you perspective from one XRP analyst who says that, hey, we're looking at $5.85 XRP once this correction ends. So if it's over, well, in that case, if this guy's right, it's just a matter of time. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, as I record this video, XRP is at 49 cents, Bitcoin at $26,607. So in terms of percentage increases, not the most mind-blowing, but if you consider the panic and the disarray throughout social media in the world of crypto, this would be a nice surprise if you were buying into that type of stuff. So even though XRP is up 1.41% over the last 24 hours, Bitcoin's up 1.18%, this is a notable break. And here I'll show you, here's a 7-day chart for Bitcoin so that you can see 3 days ago where the price for XRP started to break down and ended up getting as low as roughly 46 cents. Here's a 7-day chart for Bitcoin. You can see it broke to the downside at the same point and ended up in the upper 24,000 range. But over the last 24 hours, it's been moving to the upside quite obviously. Here's a 24-hour chart for Bitcoin. And the rest of the market moved in kind. So again, not that it's some crazy huge percentage here, but there were many of the doomsayers out there that were confident that since we saw Bitcoin where it was in the upper 24,000s, we were going to keep on tanking to the downside. And I hope that's not happening. Now, I don't pretend to know. I'm not pretending to be a chart analyst, but I find perspective from analysts just as interesting as you. And I wanted to share with you in one spot here in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam, perspective from a few that I personally respect the most. And we'll start with this from chart analyst Credible Crypto. And what's on your screen here is a Bitcoin market cap dominance chart here. And Credible Crypto wrote the following. Every break of the local downtrend on Bitcoin dominance has preceded or followed the start of a major impulsive move. The last 3 impulses were $7,000, $10,000, and $8,000 moves. We just broke the local downtrend on Bitcoin dominance with yesterday's close. Okay, so you're seeing the move that he cited. It's charted right there on the screen. And he's just noting that when you get a shift like this, what you should expect, according to him, is massive moves. Historically, that's what we've seen. So the question is, are we in store for something like a big move as a result of this occurring? Well, we'll see what happens and how much time has to pass before. I mean, well, I'll say this, even not being a chart analyst, it's just a matter of time before you end up seeing something like that inevitably. And you don't ever know for sure when it's going to happen. But having been in the space for almost 6 years at this point, sometimes you just wake up and be like, wow, that's a big-ass move. What, Bitcoin's up 8,000? Oh, cool. You know? And here you have analyst TXMC, who used to be working with Glassnode, an on-chain analytics firm that I think does fantastic work. TXMC shared his perspective and wrote the following. If you're eyeing, oh, by the way, he's referencing March 2020, and just as a reminder, this was the month during the pandemic where we saw the most horrific price action for crypto. I mean, this is when we saw 10-cent XRP, and I can't remember exactly how low Bitcoin got off the top of my head, but it cratered. Everything cratered. It was the end of the world. For those of you that were around, you remember the sentiment. And I never believed that was the end of the world, of course. And Bitcoin went on to rip to new all-time highs and all that jazz. But that was the sentiment at the time. So TXMC wrote the following just this morning. If you're eyeing a March 2020 style dip in rip V-bottom to cap off this cycle, you're going to be left at the altar. The COVID market fractal will not be repeated. Hashtag Bitcoin. And so he's not the only one with that particular mindset, that what we saw in 2020, unique circumstances, and the blockchain backer seems to subscribe to pretty much the same concept so far as I can tell, and for what I've seen from him in recent weeks. And he actually reposted that on social media platform X, and the blockchain backer wrote the following: 100%. This is not 2020. Stop using recency bias. This should be the 4-year cycle and block reward halving theory scenario, not $12,000. Not revisiting the lows. It's either this or Doomtown. And guess what? Price is right on track for it, and the masses just capitulated at the low. And so here you can see full screen for just a moment. This is just a Bitcoin USD chart. It's interesting because this level that we just got a few days ago, within the last couple weeks or so leading up to this, I did note that that's a level that the blockchain backer was talking about, and the Incredible Crypto was talking about the same level, somewhere around, say, $24,800 or so. And so right as we're hitting that, there's major capitulation, there's blood in the streets, everybody's panicking and crying, and nobody can sleep at night. What happens? Well, again, not that there was some huge burst to the upside today, but isn't this the opposite of what all the doomsayers have been shouting for the last 3 days? This wasn't supposed to happen, not even a little bit to the upside. Isn't that interesting? And so TXMC, he shared that post from the blockchain backer, and then TXMC expanded on his thoughts. And he does end up warning, when things are going to crater ultimately, it's going to have to do with the recession. So I'll let him speak in his own words here. But we don't have to worry about that necessarily anytime soon. The local bottom is in all probabilities what's being shared here. So here's what TXMC says. If you're a bullish Bitcoin cycle theorist, your comparison is 2015, not 2019. On-chain signatures look like 2015 across the board. There has been no bear rally into fib levels to set up a mid-cycle crash like 2019. The price fractal since November 2021 even matches the 2015 bear post-retrace in eerie fashion. The bull market for Bitcoin ended in April 2021. There was a fully blossomed alt season, and the second half of the year was an overzealous retracement into a new high that has thrown off countless analysis in its wake. An expanded flat that produces a new high is a form of corrective structure, and it's precisely what we saw. There is no precedent for mid-cycle lower lows, absent a retracement rally setup if you are a bull. For all the focus on historical patterns and symmetry, there seems to be an absence of it in this matter. Yeah, so I'll pause to note that it's also true that the blockchain backer has been warning, if you're talking about Bitcoin actually hitting $12,000, and that's the level that you think we need to go back on down to before we can really take off. And not to put words in his mouth, I'm just kind of paraphrasing from what I've seen from him. He's warning, if that happens, no, it's over and it's Doomtown time. Like, that's pretty much it, right? And TXMC seems to be sharing a similar mindset here. And TXMC also wrote, Monday, 9/11 was an all-out capitulation. Sentiment was 4-digit Bitcoin. Everyone came out of the woodwork with their sub $15,000 calls. But what most people did not see is a completed crashing structure on 1 day, 1 hour, and even 1 minute time frames at $24,900. This implies strong odds that the low is in, for now. My expectation is that Monday marked the local bottom, and Bitcoin will drift higher until recession sends all risk assets to new lows beyond their 2022 troughs. And it is extremely unlikely to be a V-bottom recovery from any favorable price level. That was uniquely 2020. These are just my thoughts, informed by data. No one has a crystal ball. I really think a lot of people will be completely surprised by the next couple years. I hope you are keeping a market journal. And the blockchain backer also shared this chart. This is, Bitcoin market cap dominant. So he wrote here, the alignment is absurd. No matter if you are a doomer or a moon boy, recency bias of 2020 is not the behavior to be drawing from. And then he shared this chart here. I'll make this one full screen too. This is a Bitcoin USD chart. You've got 2023 on the left, and then you got 2016 on the right. And he wrote, as you can see, there is barely a retrace as in 2016. And then he wrapped up the thread by stating, which is entirely different from 2019's full retrace of 618,702 for anything remotely similar. We need to see $48,000 plus. And he's talking about Bitcoin, of course, since there's more Bitcoin price charts here. And then there's also this. And look, again, I love my approach to crypto personally for me. I'm not telling you to do what I'm doing. I'm not offering you financial advice, telling you to buy or not or sell anything. Nothing like that. But I like what I'm doing for me, investment-wise, because I could not have more confidence that this asset class is going to be astronomically larger at some unknown point in the future, and that many of the assets I hold are going to be worth an absolute fortune compared to where they are right now. And I hold close to 30 different cryptocurrencies. So for me, I don't have to worry about the timing or this and that. I'm glad I'm not a chart analyst. I appreciate the work they do and the perspective they share. I really do. I just don't want to be one myself. I don't like to be in the weeds like that. To me, it's boring as hell. I'd rather watch paint dry personally, but I'm glad we all have our different interests. So for me, though, all I have to do is precisely nothing. Either I'm right or I'm wrong. And if I'm right, then, hey, problem fixes itself. I'll just wake up one day and this stuff's going to be going bonkers. And we've seen that directionally for many times over the last nearly 6 years that I've been in crypto. I do firmly believe it's going to be happening again. There are lots of reasons for this. There's more exciting stuff happening. But this headline from the Crypto Basic is, analysts highlight XRP final support levels target $5.85 once correction ends. And I'm just going to share with you the perspective. I just thought in this video, I'd just get perspective from a number of analysts that are well followed and respected within the XRP community. And this is from XRP analyst Dark Defender, 93,600 followers. And he shared this chart, just an XRP USD chart, and he wrote the following. We discussed XRP stopped at 93 cents and named as Wave 1, proceeding with Wave 2 corrective. On the 2nd of September, we called the final supports in sight, 46 cents and 39 cents. XRP is now hovering on 46 cents support. If we see below this, the final support will be at 39 cents. And by the way, I'll pause and note, this was 2 days ago. So it was after we saw the bottom, but it hadn't gotten to the level that we're seeing today, which isn't crazily higher, but 49 cents. And then he states here, then I expect this Wave 2 correction to be over, and Wave 3 targets of $1.88 and $5.85 will be in play. And so, folks, like I said, the reason I love my approach is because I just believe that humans are going to keep behaving like this. We're going to keep seeing way more money flowing and a continued trend to the upside despite massive pullbacks along the way, which is what has been happening for the entirety of the existence of crypto, including XRP. It always seems impossible until one day you wake up and there it is. And XRP, now having legal clarity, it is unshackled. When the market runs, I believe XRP is going to have its day in the sun, and that's why I have bet accordingly. I'm just going to continue to hold. I don't control when it happens. I don't control if it's going to happen, but I do believe that we are going to see that. So I'm just going to sit here and hold, and if I'm wrong, then it goes to zero, and maybe I lose everything, but I don't believe that's the most probable outcome. And this is exciting. I could not feel more confident in this. So let me know what you think. Are you guys feeling a little bit better now that we're seeing directionally things to the upside? What do you have to say about the perspective from these several analysts that I shared in this latest Moon Lambo Hot Jam? Do you find their perspectives to be compelling? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Lambo.